Are you ready for it? I'm about to say something that I very rarely say. I was wrong. If you go back to the very beginning of when I started blogging about procurement, when I started doing podcasts, when I started doing vlogs, the very beginning 5 or 6 years ago, I was a huge proponent of IBM's Watson platform, about the concepts of automation, about what they were doing in the medical space, and in 2021, 6 years later, they've been a huge disappointment. I will add a caveat that if someone has benefited from the work they've done with diabetes and oncology, if they've helped actually save someone from some form of cancer, then kudos. I'm glad that it worked. I'm truly glad that it worked. And that is the technology that got me so excited about what Watson could do. But it is 6 years later and they haven't taken it to where it needs to go. They haven't expanded the platform. IBM's Watson Health division makes over $1 billion a year. $1 billion. And this division is made up of Watson technology. It's made up of acquisitions like Phytel, Merge, and Truven Healthcare. And IBM spent billions of dollars on those acquisitions and smaller ones. And even though they've spent billions of dollars, even though they make about $1 billion a year with the platform, they are looking to sell it. They are admitting that they are unable to take the platform to the next level. And if you're wondering, why are they looking to sell? Why is the platform not more profitable, not more successful? The answer is simple. Automation is not easy. Every pundit, every technologist that you see on MSNBC or CNBC or Fox Business that sits there and touts the next wave of automation, how all of these jobs are going to be lost. That may come someday, maybe. But what I have seen in the last 6 years is that every time you attempt to automate something, automation comes from process. And companies are not good at documenting and executing process. Even the best ones struggle at the actual step-by-step understanding of what it takes to complete a function. And if you can't document it, you can't automate it. So the problem with Watson, based on first-hand experience, I've worked with Watson platforms before in my personal time. You have to teach Watson in order for Watson to do. So that means you have to have experts that know how to teach Watson. That means you have to have time and patience to get this thing to do the thing that you want it to do. And not everyone has the time and the money to do that. So these projects always start with the best of intentions and usually end with disappointment and failure. IBM is not the only one that's struggling with this. Almost all companies that are in the automation space really struggle with getting a true product that is repeatable. There are some companies that have been very successful, like there are tax companies that have figured out how to automate your tax returns. But that came at a cost of millions to potentially billions of dollars in development work. And not every company is going to be able to invest that much time and energy to make a product like that. And in fact, what I would say is that a company like IBM should be producing and offering off-the-shelf automation to help improve business processes. And that's not happening. I would also add that some of that failure to create off-the-shelf software is because of the partnerships with the companies they are doing business with. If someone has spent billions of dollars to create an automated tool, they're not going to run off and allow some other company to share in that development work, at least not for a share in the cost or the expenses of that development, and for them to potentially make a profit. Companies like IBM that have gotten into the automation and AI game have been struggling to find partners that they can develop a platform and then resell to the broader business public. They haven't done a good job of transitioning those partnerships into actual products that everyone can use and buy. And because they haven't been able to do that, Watson has been a failure. Automation continues to be difficult and will continue to be difficult until something changes. Eventually, I suspect that open source platforms for AI will create enough of a library of products that things can be easily automated and make it affordable and easy to get into the automation game. But until those third parties and open source platforms do become available and altruistic individuals create these products, we're going to continue to struggle, and we're going to see companies struggle with automation and artificial intelligence. It's sad to see something that I've admired for the last 6 years, and it was a cornerstone of the content of my blogs, vlogs, and podcasts. It's sad to see it get sold off or attempting to be sold off. It's an admonition that something isn't working. And hopefully the next company that gets these assets figures out the right thing to do with it. It was nice knowing you, Watson. Hopefully one day you'll turn into something that we can all admire.